And that's really where, you're pounding for agent on the phone, or trying to get in a chat window with a human. Walk us through kind of that decision line of where you kind of bring in humans and how you guys treat kind of that human experience. When you have to do the AI, it's going to get, some large percentage of questions answered. And most of us want that these days, right? We'd rather not talk to a human if we don't have to, if we can get the job done. But how do you walk that line and blend in that experience?
It is a fine line, because we've all become such accustomed to getting an answer from a chatbot in 3 seconds or less. As long as you see the little bubbles pop up on your chatbot, you know something is happening. We still pride ourselves in, we answer every single phone call with a live human within 3 rings or less. Unheard of these days. You can We typically get a 99% call, or 95%, I guess, call uh, solution with that very first person. We have 3 tiers of customer success, support teams here in Kansas City. So that's another thing. When we first started, we were told that if we don't rely on the big platforms customer support teams, we'll never ever make it. I think they signed up when we started back in 2003 with Chase Payment Tech. We were the only ones that said we want to do our service and support in house, and we're the only ones that made it. So fast forward, 23, 24 years later, we spend millions and millions of dollars on our own in-house support team because, one, we're a little bit control freaks. We know how we want to take care of our clients and our partners. So we work with 100 and some banks across the country as well, and take care of their clients. We're not a great fit for Bank of America or some of the big boys out there. It's those community regional banks that are, between $1-2 billion in assets up to about 30 to 40 billion in assets, that still pride themselves on their community involvement and things like that. Those are our good fits. But we have to have the AI. We have to have the chatbots. We have to be more efficient with margin compression every single day. I mean, we're competing regularly against the Stripes and the Squares and the Blocks out there, the PayPals. So we have to do it more efficiently. But we're very careful not to lose that competitive advantage that we have, that is our people.
So you guys are selling this kind of, through, I guess, partner systems and embedding into these other people's software platforms. Walk us through kind of a normal integration. What are they kind of, how are they bringing it into their process? And then how does that kind of human component kind of play in when they're kind of, I guess, remapping their whole process flow?
Correct. Yeah. So we were pretty late to the game in that software space. We'd been so heavily focused on our banking sales vertical for years, and the number of banks just keeps shrinking and shrinking and consolidating. So in 2003, there might have been 18,000 banks out there that were right in our wheelhouse. Today, that number is under 2,000. So we pivoted, and what we didn't realize is that pivot also helped our banking partners, because most of the people at their banks want to process through their bank's partnership, because the extra layer of security that we bring in that relationship. But what we figured out also is the software folks are the same, just cut from the same cloth. They'd all jumped in bed with a processor, and those processors have either sold out or they're gone over the last 20 years, because there's a big, consolidation in our industry space as well. All the big 5 platforms have gobbled up so many of the little guys out there that we never set out to be the biggest. We wanted to be the best, and that customer service was what kind of distinguished us from a lot of the other folks. But we found out with the software folks, it was the same thing. If we make the software look good to their users and make it a very frictionless payments ecosystem inside of their system, so they don't have to do what we call the swivel chair, method of payments, of running their business inside their software, and then have to go over here to run their, any type of payments, and then come back over here and post it. So our tech teams typically get together after we form a partnership, map it out. In many cases, they already have a processor in their ecosystem, so it's pretty simple. They know where everything goes. They're just looking for a better experience for their users, and that's what we strive to bring to the table.